Okay, so can everyone hear me? Is that fine? You guys at the back? No. I'll try. Okay. If in this room right now, the camp facilitator Benjamin Leong were to commit a crime, and I chose to take justice into my own hands, I'll probably also be charged by the state for taking action against this individual, for attempting to punish him without any prior legitimacy. The only difference between me and, for example, individuals such as Batman, is that I'm not wearing a costume and going under the false persona of a different individual and claiming for myself to be above the law, a representative of morality, of society, and all of it, right? The only difference then is that these individuals take on these characters and personas with the purpose then of trying to remove them from the punishment that the law is meant to be. We're going to have three key responses to side opposition and two main substantives out there. Let's go into the first, right? The idea that we are deploying these individuals. We disagree with that. The only thing that we are expecting of these superheroes is that they register with us. Especially in a situation where these individuals commit, for example, acts of destruction in the process of saving the city, we will have someone who is accountable for such action. Why is this clarification important? Because much of what Vanessa said was premised on the assumption that we as the government will be forming these groups and necessarily deploying them, right? No, thank you, madam. Registration does not necessarily mean the formation of SHIELD. What we do allow for, if these individuals opt to work with the government, is for them to do so at their own discretion. What we are not saying then is that these individuals have to fight for our own causes. We are creating this program, no thank you madam, so that we ensure accountability as a whole. Let's look at the second area, right? Justice within the judicial system. This is where Sarah was trying to fight for the idea of making sure that no one was above the law, that no one was necessarily taking action into their own hands and not being accountable for it. And let's draw an analogy, right? In the same way that, for example, if an individual were to carry a gun or a weapon of some sort that has the potential to hurt someone else, we expect them to be licensed individuals who are registered with the state, so that we can also make sure that these individuals are acting responsibly, so we can also ensure the protection of others. What we are, at the end of the day, no thank you. What we are fighting for is to make sure that these individuals don't act at their own discretion to enact whatever form of individual justice, no thank you sir, that they want to put across. Why are we particularly focusing on these superheroes? Many of them are born out of this misplaced sense of self-righteousness that is born out of some fantastic occasion in their life, such as, for example, their parents being shot dead, such as, for example, their planets being blown up. This means that they are necessarily against the sort of societal norms that already exist, for the sole purpose of trying to get revenge for their own personal tragedies in the past. By allowing these individuals to run wild and act as protectors of society, what we are supporting then is this idea of taking justice into your own hands. We are supporting enacting revenge on your own terms. No thank you, madam. As long as you get your own outcome, as long as for some reason you're glorified, it's fine with it. That's the sort of outcome you're trying to get. No thank you. Finally, there are justification that, well, their family members will die because, well, bad guys will come to the fore. What we are telling you is that governments are often self-regulated in the sense that leaks of information are very heavily controlled against. Often the types of information that they want to put across, right? Stuff like WikiLeaks coming out and dropping information about everyone else is information that is not essential towards key operational procedures. What they've not proven to us is that there is such a realistic threat that everyone's going to find out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Anyone outside of a certain group of people within the government itself. No thank you, madam. And even if, for example, such a situation were to occur, where a breach of trust happens and these individuals are at risk, their secret identities are out, the fact that the state is involved means that we are just as capable of protecting these families as well. Because Spider-Man clearly cannot be, for example, saving New York at one time and defending Aunt May in her wheelchair at the other point in time. What we are allowing for is the protection of these individuals' families as well, as they do proceed around attempting to help us. No thank you, sir. Let's look into the substantives, right? We're going to put forward two simple things. First, the idea of healthcare for superheroes, and secondly, the idea of lobbying. Listen to me on this issue of healthcare, right? What we often see because of the nature of these individuals, and I'll take you in a moment, madam, is that due to their restricted identities and all, they're never able to seek out the necessary forms of healthcare whenever they are, for example, battered in a fight. What we are allowing for is the creation, for example, of medical systems specifically catered towards the weaknesses of these individuals, so that we can protect those who are trying to protect us. Before I continue, yes.
So when the government is merely dissecting mutants, you would like the mutants to register with them and find healthcare on the dissection table, I'm sure.
What she's trying to put across then is her own sick fantasy of scientific experimentation on different forms of superheroes. We don't think that, for example, Superman is just going to bend over backwards and take it from you if you try to experiment on Superman. Right? It's a very theoretical situation meant to, for example, distort the reality of this. What are we actually talking about? When Superman gets shot with a kryptonite bullet, as happened in certain of the Justice League adventures, no other individual is able to help him because no one knows that this individual is Clark Kent. This is his medical registration. Superman himself is not willing to bring himself in to have his life saved because that means that his own identity is sacrificed. What we are ultimately fighting for then is the protection of these individuals in the situation that they themselves are harmed in the processes of defending the rest of society. What side proposition stands for then is protecting these individuals, ensuring their families are safe, and making sure that someone is accountable for the damage that they cause. For all these reasons, I'm very proud to propose.
One wonderful rebuttal.
I'm sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let me tell you guys something. There's a group called the Ku Klux Klan, and if you've heard of them, they're a group of white supremacists. Their hobbies apparently lynching black men in the streets, i.e. hanging African Americans. Guess who fights against them? Not the government, because the government is full of people who think that the majority is the most important. Therefore, it is Black Panther, an African American superhero, who fights them. I question all of you today. Who watches the Watchmen when they fail you because of your color, because of your race, because of your religion? We refuse a world where your safety can be endangered. Therefore, I present you two rebuttals today before I talk about protecting minorities and protecting hope. My first rebuttal, ladies and gentlemen, why the superheroes are best poised to protect the people. Now, allow me to break down their entire premise, which cracks their case, that somehow governments can keep superheroes in check. Now, first and foremost, if Aquaman really was to summon a tsunami to crush New York City, I don't think the police are going to do jack. I think who's going to keep them in shape are actually rival superhero factions. No, thank you. Because what happens is, I tell you, that when Superman went crazy because it's controlled by alien in Justice League, it was Batman that brought him back. We require rival superhero factions in order to deal with superheroes. It creating a homogeneous body by no thank you, madam, forcing them to register simply means that when they say government versus superheroes, I'm sure the government can protect us. When Aquaman truly sends that tsunami, it is on their shoulders that the fall of New York will be. No thank you, sir. Now, secondly, let's talk about rights, because after Pregnant they still want to talk about how superheroes get more rights. The point is this: we say that when the government relinquishes their right to rule the people by failing the people and failing to protect them, that other people can step up and use the right to protect the people. No thank you, madam. I also tell you today, and parallel to the fact that churches get tax rebates and tax cuts because we acknowledge they serve the people. Therefore, when one person comes up with his superpower and protects all of us, I declare that his right to protect us should be protected. He does not deserve to have his uncle in threat. Spider-Man does not deserve to have Mary Jane in danger simply because you will eventually fail to protect us through this registration system. No, thank you. Second point of rebuttal: protecting the superheroes. Now, on their first point, they say, well, I'm sure we can facilitate cooperation. If you watch Justice League, you know that there's a watchtower in space where all the superheroes come together and discuss information. We tell you that that is more than enough to facilitate cooperation and the spread of information. Even better, because we cancel the bureaucracy linked to governments. But the second point, they say, oh, I'm sure it's a sick science fantasy that people are experimenting on. Let me tell you that I went to watch X-Men Days of Future Past. Let me tell you, what I saw there was mutants being experimented on because we thought they were different. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that no preserve. It is not health, because we say that when governments are fine, that they are more than able to seek help themselves. But when governments fail, we do not give them the power to take down the very tools of justice. Having dealt with all that, I'm going to transition to my substantives now, and I welcome any PYs.
If you really don't believe in the government, are you going to replace them with superheroes? Because if not, then you have to give them power
Thank you,
somehow.
madam. That's the whole point, ladies and gentlemen. When I say I was going to replace them, but I would say this, that the two of them are checks and balance helping each other. That when times are good, Batman will help Gotham as well. But when times are bad, it is the bad signal that lights up the sky and ensures that people do not get beaten up in the street. That the event of Bruce Wayne's father and mother die again in a back alley will never happen again. No, thank you. So let's talk about my substantive. Let's talk about minorities. Let's talk about hope. I tell you this, that there are two terms to this, and the first is that governments can have and will screw up. A real world example. Everyone knows the case of Ferguson over here?
Alex Ferguson?
What happened then is that a white policeman called Darren Wilson shot an African American child, point blank. And you know what happened? Did the government charge him for what is essentially murder or manslaughter? No, what happened then was that he got acquitted and even got paid leave for the time he didn't work for the very protectors of justice, the policemen. I will tell you this, no thank you, that in the Rwandan genocide, the Tutsis were slaughtered and the death toll was in the millions because the Hutu government thought that they were invaders and thought that they had to be killed. Governments can have, will fail. And here's the first problem, that these sort of democracies, even in today, they are majority in nature. They will support the group that votes them in, no thank you. So when America is white dominated, and when racism and discrimination is intrinsic to their culture, still deeply embedded in their hearts and minds, events like Ferguson happen. And then what happens is that this racism manifests itself in rights not being protected, in a young boy being shot in the streets. It manifests itself as well in the inability to protect their rights. For example, a Pakistani person not being able to become a policeman and protect his own people because he doesn't pass the racial profiling that people force upon him. This is our solution. We say superheroes. They don't toe the party line, because if they were registered to a government, the moment they oppose, let's say, the Republican government would crack down on them. They don't want someone who opposes their ideas. But that just means that because they are not under the thumb of the government, they cannot be caught by the government. And even when the government condemns them, the government cannot catch them. And we go back, I like continuity, to the Black Panther and the Ku Klux Klan. So when the American government fails to protect the African American in America, we say Black Panther comes in. We say that when Gotham City is rife with crime and when the poor are not taken care of, we say Batman comes in. And in the darkest of nights, in the brightest of days, we refuse the proposition and we refuse to relinquish our rights. We oppose.